My name is John. I'm Irish. I got diagnosed with MND in 2016 of April 2016. And before I was diagnosed with MND, I used to do a lot of cycling, playing golf. I had my own construction business, so yeah, I was self-employed myself. Everything was going well, and then just all of a sudden, out of the blue, MND came along. I initially came to Australia in 1987 as a young lad. Came out on a working holiday visa, stayed for 6 months, then extended it for another 6 months, and I liked the place, so I applied for residency at the time, and it took 18 months to come through. Then they granted me residency, became a citizen in 1990, and I lived here till 94. Then I got married. 2 girls were born here, Katie and Sinead, and then we decided we'd move back to Ireland when they were young. Yeah, and we spent about 20 years back there. They went to school, university, and about 10 years ago they moved back out again. They were Australian citizens, and they're both working and living in Brisbane now. And my other daughter, Aoife, who was born in Ireland, she's still back in Ireland with her mum. I think I like the weather better here. No, Australia's a great country. Especially in my condition, with MND, I think to look after the patients here very well. You have a good standard of living because you can get carers into pretty much everything for you. They'll be your hands and legs when you get to that position. So you can still go about a pretty good standard of living, a good life.
Yeah.
So I'd say for now, I think Australia is the best place for me. Yeah, at the time I was doing a lot of cycling.
Yeah.
And was pretty fit. And in March of 2016, having my own construction business, I was kind of hands-on labor myself, and I noticed a kind of weaknessing in my right shoulder and my right leg. And also I was doing a lot of I suppose going to the gym and stuff that time, and I was noticing like press-ups and so forth getting harder and harder to do. So I kind of knew there was something wrong. Went to my GP, and I just said I wasn't feeling the best. So he did a lot of blood tests. Everything came back positive. Everything was okay. So I left another 2 or 3 weeks ago. Still was having the same symptoms. Went back to my GP again, and he said definitely there's some weaknesses in your right side.
Yeah.
So he sent me off to see a neurologist, and yeah, seen a neurologist probably 8 weeks later. And in that appointment with the neurologist, I kind of knew there was something wrong. He kind of was doing all the kind of normal tests, looking into my mouth a lot and seeing some movement, and there and then that day he said to me, he said, I think you have MND. He said, I hope you haven't got it. He said, we've a test to do still to knock other illnesses out, but he said, I'm going to put you on Riluzole straight away, because he said it's not going to do any damage if I'm wrong. But he said, at least we get you on the drug early. So yeah, on that day he diagnosed with MND, and I was pretty shocked. It was a lot to take in. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of mulled over it for a long time. Told on my family, which is hard. And then yeah, like I wouldn't say I accepted it straight away. It was pretty hard, but yeah, I kind of took a bit of time to myself, and then I was there, as I say, I was living in Ireland at the time, and the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association kind of got onto me straight away, and they offered me help, obviously, but they also offered me counselling, which I thought was probably one of the best things I did. It kind of put an awful lot of questions to bed for me. Kind of obviously I knew the path I was going to take, and I suppose the one thing I didn't want to be was a burden on anyone. And I think speaking to the counsellor, they put an awful lot of good, like positive thoughts in my mind, that I could live with this and get through it, and not let M&D take over your life. Kind of, you're living with M&D, you're not dying with M&D. What frustrates me most about M&D is it's not actually the big things about being able to go somewhere or fly somewhere, but it's the everyday small things, like if you get an itch in your head, you can't scratch it. If like something can be just millimeters away from your hand and you can't actually touch it. It's like your phone. It could be just 2 inches away and you can't actually move your hand to get it. Stuff like that frustrates probably me more. And it's just the simple things, not be able to say drink a cup of tea yourself or feed yourself. It's a small little thing, but I must say, like with technology, that's there's some technology out there that can make things a lot easier. Like I have my own eye gaze computer, which is fantastic. Like it gets me, I can change the channels on the TV, I can watch Netflix, I can do all my social media on it. Eye gaze computer. So the first thing I have to do is calibrate my eyes to the computer. So you can see the calibration there. I just look at that, click my finger with the neural node on my hand, and that activates the computer. So I just follow the dot around the screen and that calibrates my eyes to every position on the screen. Okay. So it takes them probably a minute.
And how was the process in getting that all sorted?
You have to start it through your OT and your speech therapist. So the speech therapist has to write up a report on why you need this equipment. You have to try out 3 different types of devices, and then whatever device suits you the best, she does up the report on that, and then your OT comes in to get the right stands for it. So I have this stand here. I've also got a stand for my wheelchair, and I've got a little tripod which I can, if I go off for a weekend or go to my daughter's house, I can just bring the tripod on the computer, so I don't need to bring the big stand with me. And it's just as much screen, so you've got all your apps here, so it's like a phone really. So I just showed that I can just look at WhatsApp. So I just zero WhatsApp and I just click the button, it opens it, and then I can just my messages will come up, and then I can just scroll down to my messages, open them and read them. Then I can write a reply. I can just type out whatever I want to say, and then you just send it. So it's just very much like a phone really. And you've got all your, you've got Facebook, you can do all your emails, everything on it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So how does it do the clicking? How do you do the clicking?
Okay, so if you see the yellow dot on the screen, so I'm just going to SMS there.
Yeah.
So what I did then is you just, on my hand, I have a thing called the neural node. It's in my hand, so that picks up my pulse. So as soon as I look at something, I just move my finger, that clicks my muscle, and it opens, it acts as the mouse.
Okay.
Yeah. If I didn't have that, I'd say life would be very, very frustrating. But like with my idea is, I can keep in contact with people, send texts, send email, do all my own stuff without asking someone else to do it. Like, and I said, I think if I didn't embrace that, I think life would be very frustrating. But like having that, it makes life a lot easier. So it was actually March of 2018 before I went to my first M&D&Me Foundation meeting. So I was 2 years diagnosed before I went. I knew about it. I suppose like my own M&D diagnosis, it's kind of slow progressing. So when I met Sarah and Paul was a CEO at the time, I was actually walking. So I actually walked into the meeting. So for the 2 years previous to that, I kind of had my own life, and I suppose I knew about the M&D Foundation, but I never got around to getting to a meeting. And then I went to our first meeting, as I say, I think it was in March of 2018. I found the foundation fantastic, so helpful. I think the people you meet there, you get so much out of it. Like every meeting you go to, you go away with a little bit of information or a little soundbite that can get you going, or a bit of new technology or something somebody else has done. I say, oh my God, I can do that. There might be a holiday they went on and they were able to do X, Y, and Z. I say, oh, I can do that. So it kind of keeps you motivated to see other people doing stuff. And if you can pass on some of that knowledge and something like I might have done myself, I can tell somebody that was newly diagnosed and help them out, I think it's fantastic that way. It has given me bits of equipment, some bits of equipment until I was able to say get them permanently from NDIS. And there's functions and stuff that they have to go along to, and you meet so many great people through the foundation. Yes, since I was in a wheelchair, I had to put a ramp into the house. I had to adopt the bathroom. I have everything in one level, no steps. And my bed, I have a bed that's voice activated. So if I wake at night time, and because when you go into bed at night time, you actually sleep in the one position all night. You don't move. So I find that when I wake at night time, it's good to be able to move your body, so I can lift the head of the bed up or lift the feet. So it just moves my body from a different position, so I'm not lying in the one position all night. Then as I say, I have my computer that activates everything in the house. I can put up and down the blinds, turn on the aircon, turn on the fans. I've automated the garage door as well, so I can just ring a SIM card I put into the garage door, and it opens and closes the door for me, so I can leave carers in and out, or whoever's coming, I can leave them in and out of the house without having someone here to help me. I think, yeah, definitely talk to people. Maybe get some counseling. Talk to the right people. Maybe put all your affairs in order. Because I think the more things you can sort out early, you don't have to worry about them later on. I think the most important thing that your life isn't over.
Yeah.
You should never give up hope. And there's still a life to be lived. It's different. It's not the same as your previous life. You're gonna probably need some equipment. Try and embrace the equipment early. Always think ahead and try and be a step ahead of M&D all the time. Whether it's getting a wheelchair or getting a house in the house, just like a lot of the stuff, it's all going to come to you. But I think thinking in advance, getting it early, getting used to seeing it, getting used to using it, makes it easier. Don't wait until you definitely do need it. Kind of get it in advance if you can. I think it definitely has. Would say, but the last 6 years, I spend more time with my daughters now than I probably would have if I didn't have M&D. So that's a positive. And you like to get closer to your family, and you don't worry about the big things of life. You just take every day as it comes, and don't worry too much about the future. Live in the present, live today, and live for today.